Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to our fourth session of this book that is called JiYoung, born 1982. We almost finished the book. We are in our fourth session. And well, after this, the chapter that we read that it was a little bit intense, again, we just say that it's full of injustice. And well, let's just, remember what was the previous chapter about. We were talking, about Kim's adolescence when she is in high school and the harassment that she suffered, the situation with her family, with her sister, and moreover. And as you remember, the chapter finished when Kim Young just finished her high school. Now that we start this chapter that is called Early Adulthood, we see that Kim Young starts going to college, and well, nothing seems to be like in high school. In high school, everything was so easy, but now that she starts college, she realized that everything is even harder, not just with exams, but as well all the activities that she has to complete for having a decent notes. And as well, it is not her only experience. As well, we see that during this chapter, we have like a lot of new characters. Some of them I remember it was some classmate or something of Kim Young's, which her situation is even harder than Kim's. Why? Because remember that the situation in Korea is not very stable. They are having like these economic troubles, and then they mentioned that the tuitions of education they raise, even increase the double. And as well as you may know that everything in Asia, it is like study, 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 and be the number one. So we can see here that is a really, really, really hard competition for, getting good grades, good notes. And well, she is stressed. She felt that, not everything is alive, but everything is so, so hard. And I don't remember so much the order as the last time, but I remember that, she is studying and she even had a boyfriend who, he is from this hiking club. And to be honest, I thought it was her husband, because remember that he met him in the same club, but it is not. So here is a little bit of the relationship. It seems that everything is normal, but then I don't know if you know, guys, but the military service in Korea, it is a must. So you must do it, and you must go, I think, for 2 years, or you must serve the Navy or the military for 2 years. So he went, and when he came back, nothing seems to be like the same. So they broke up. Then she continues her life and everything, but then it happened like some little scenes, injustice, comments, however you want to call it, while she is studying. For example, I remember this, that during a hiking trip, there's a guy who is kind of fell in love with Kim. And everybody's like, oh yes, she's alone, you must go and you must, like tell her about your feelings. And moreover, and this guy just answered like, oh, I don't want someone who, anybody already like not threw away. He used some other words, but it seems to be like that. And she was listening to that comment. I remember she felt a little bit under the weather during that trip. So she commented that she saw like a pile of, well, it is not a futon, but kind of beds for sleeping. and she was there. She was kind of hiding, and she heard everything. And then the next day, this guy was just like, "Oh, are you okay?" Very nicely and everything. And I think since then we can see that she has been, like keeping quiet. Maybe that's why at the beginning of this book we saw that finally she's speaking up because all these injustices that she has lived. And well, after that, I remember that when she is just about to finish her college, she's so worried. She's so worried because she doesn't have anything to. She doesn't know where she will work, and she's worried a little bit about that. Um, I don't remember exactly how everything happened, but then graduation arrived. She graduates and everything, and I don't know if it is before or after. We will just review it when we start, with the vocabulary. But then she said that she's trying to look for a job. She even mentioned how many times she sent her CV, and nobody says yes until she misspell her name, and then they call her, and she realized like a lot of injustices. For example, that a lot of companies, remember that everything in Asia is like a little bit different from here, and when you start working in a company in Korea or Japan, the idea is that you remain in that company your entire life. So a lot of companies says that women's are a little bit, troubles because of maternity, because of a lot of stuff, and nobody knows someone who has been given this permit of maternity and then came back. So nobody wants to hire women, sorry, until I remember Kim, she was hired. Oh well, she was called firstly, I remember this. She was called firstly to a job interview, I think to this one where she misspelled her name. And then she mentioned that there were other three girls in that interview. To be honest, I'm not really sure, but probably it is that they were together in the job interview. Probably it is the way they have interviews in Korea. But I remember that everybody was answering cool, and then the last question arrived, and she said like there was a guy, there was an old man like sitting uh pretty much at the corner, and he didn't say anything. He was just nodding until the last question, and he said like, what if an important client, it is like, he didn't mention harassment, but because he mentioned like, what if this client touch your leg, or what if it is touching you like in with other intentions. And they start answering, and the first one says like, well, I will tell him like to stop. No, I remember Kim was the first one who said like, well, I will just look for the opportunity to go outside, to go to the bathroom, or to go somewhere, to not be there. And then the second girl says like, I will say him to stop, like this is harassment and I can just like sue you. And then the third one says like, oh, I will just reflect in my behavior, in my clothes, and maybe it was my fault. And then, Kim says something. Kim says, I remembered that he thought that that was the right answer because it was a job interview, but she even felt guilty about saying like she answered or she got the best answer. Then, she called the company because she received like a no from the company. She wasn't hired by them. And this our age employee told her like, oh yeah, that question, it was just a question, it doesn't matter. And she said like, oh yeah, it didn't matter, so why I kept silence, why I didn't say whatever I was thinking in that moment. And well, then I remember she continues like looking for some jobs, and during that time she got another boyfriend. But this time I remember she said like it is a little bit younger than her, probably like 1 or 2 years. I don't remember exactly. And well, this boyfriend, it is very lovely. He support her like really, really nicely in all aspects. She said that this boyfriend understand her nicely because maybe they were kind of in the same situations. And then I remember that she started working in a company, but this company is making like mugs and products for, well, they say it is a marketing company, but this company is trying to profit with nostalgic or something like that. At the beginning, Kim didn't want to work there, but then she said like, "Oh, I really like it." So she started working. The book says that there were 4 employees hired the same time as she was hired, 2 girls and 2 boys. And well, in this company, I remember that she started working and everything. It's so cool. And then she met like one of the leaders there. She said that it was a woman. And to be honest, it was surprising her because there were no women. I'm sorry, there were no women in companies, And this woman, we know like a little bit of her experience because she said that at the beginning she started with the company when they were just 3 employees. She started working there, and then she said something like, I realized by experience how hard it was for women, so I tried to help them. And probably you don't know, guys, I just know a little bit because I like anime, and I just can compare with Japanese people. But I know that when people go to drink, it's very, very common that after the job you just go to these dinners and drink. And the youngest, or mainly women, they have this duty of not having their boss's glasses empty. Every time their glass is empty, they have the responsibility or fill it. So Kim is not saying anything like that, but it is telling us that every time she was cleaning the plates, or she was like preparing coffee, she was not the maid, but she like took those duties because it was one of the newbies. And then this leader, who is a woman, I don't remember her name, but I know that as well is Kim. um she said like, well, I know that men, they don't do anything that is not told. So this lady, it is well, I think it is the first one who told Kim like she was doing a really nice job, because Kim is really, really like putting an effort in this job. And she said like, I don't want you to prepare my coffee, I don't want you to be like the maid. She didn't say that, but kind of, with some duties. And well, they mentioned later on like a situation that happened in these dinners. As I told you, it is very common, very, very common, that when you have a company and then you have some clients, you invite them to have a dinner, to have some drinks in sometimes really nice restaurants, because you know that everything is details. And well, it is telling us that this marketing company, probably it is doing like some marketing things for this company, and they want to say thank you, so they invite to the company to dinner. And I remember that just 3 arrived from Kim's company. That is this leader that I'm telling you about, Kim, and another guy that they were hired at the same time. And well, Kim is telling us that as soon as she entered to this room when everybody was having dinner, like not the boss, but one of the leaders says like, oh, come here, like sit down here next to me. And you know that mm-mm. Because she said everybody was a man, and not just like young men, no. And she described like it was a group of 50s, 40s, and then the 30s. And well, that the guys, especially when they are old, they are very I don't want to say special or picky, but they have like, I don't know. There's a word in that we appears here. Just one second. Let me just review my vocabulary, and it says that is handy. It is handy. You know, it is talking like mano larga. And yes, maybe he or maybe they are not touching him. I'm sorry, touching her or anything like that, but they are doing so many comments. So many comments like, oh, you look pretty, but what if you just, like make up a little bit more? Oh, you have really nice nose. Oh, you have this, you have that. And Kim is telling us that all the time she felt uncomfortable, and then they were forcing her to drink. At the end, well, this guy needs to leave because her daughter is a little bit scared of going home alone. So this guy just left the place, and then everybody started leaving, and Kim is drunk, like really drunk. So Kim is telling us that she decided to just stop like kind of an oxo for buying and drinking some cold coffee. So maybe she will sober a little bit, and then she will just go home. But she wrote, she sent a message to her boyfriend like, hey, could you please come and pick me up? And then, during these, while they are having this coffee, she fell asleep. She said that she felt so released because she wasn't in this dangerous environment, that alcohol started having an effect on her, and she got asleep. And then is when her phone rang. It was her boyfriend. So this friend who was with her, more than friend, co-worker, he picked up the phone, and then the guy started like being really jealous, like, who are you and why and this and that. So her boyfriend took her home, but then it is telling us that because she was working, she was a newbie, and then her boyfriend was in, I think, last grade of college. They didn't have as much time as before for calling, for dating, or moreover. And the guy felt like not betrayed, but probably like second place. So they broke up. And well, it seems to be like a really nice boyfriend, but anyways, they broke up, and she understood, no drama, not anything. But then it is telling us again all these unfair things that are happening in some companies. That, for example, this marketing company, they are trying to sell, or like they mention like selling by pitches. So I know that a pitch is when you are, it could be over the phone, or it could be, face to face, but a pitch is when you have your speech and you try to convince someone, in this case, of getting a service. So I'm trying to guess that they are selling these marketing services, and she wanted to be one of those. She wanted to be part of that team, but she wasn't picked up. She wasn't picked up. The ones who were picked up were for men, and including those two guys who were hired at the same time that as Kim. And well, what can I say, guys? You read the book. Everybody is, I think there was one time when finally they went together to drink, and they are kind of speaking up a little bit, all these things. And they are saying like, oh, but I didn't want to be here. I'm just here because for the company, it is more secure to have men here, since we will just be here for a long time, no maternity permits or anything like that. They even mention a word that we will have it on the vocabulary today, but they say that women, or having women in companies, is taxing. And I thought it needed to be with taxes, but no. Taxing means, in this context that they are too much work. Sometimes they bring troubles. So that's why they don't want women in that team. And as well, she realized that um, the salary, the wage that women are receiving, it is less than in other countries. So she started feeling really, really disappointed of everything. And I will say that that is how the chapter finished. Here we can say how, as well, her family, finally, they are having a little bit of money. Why? Because remember that in the last chapter we saw, when we read that because of this situation that is happening in Korea, her father, who was working in a company, well, his job is like suffering. He doesn't know if he will. It is not stable. So he decided to quit, and they start opening some businesses. Well, thanks to those businesses, they start having money. They open like a lot of businesses. I remember these fried chicken and then soups and then moreover. But then her mother, to be honest, she's very smart. And we can see that during all the chapter, and probably the previous one as well with her sister, we know that her mother doesn't want the same that she suffer or she live for her daughters. So instead of, I remember her dad is he does a comment when Kim is not finding any job and she's being rejected by every company. Her father says, well, just like, oh, don't worry about it, just get married. And her mom, it is like really upset, and she even say like, why are you saying so, something like really backwards, do you know, like from the old century, why? And well, I remember Kim, it is like remembering that it was the first time her dad had hiccups. And well, because I was telling you, because of her mother, he is very, very smart. They realize, well, she realized that in front of their living, it is a building, and the building will be, I think, a hospital or something like that. To be honest, I don't remember exactly. And she said, like, hey, this will be a hospital, so we need to open. It says a patriche, or it is like a soup. I know that is it is food. So they opened this food place, and it became popular because they said that the food in hospital is not good. And even though if it is weekend, since it is a hospital, well, all the time is people, and that some people, they don't like cooking or they don't have time for cooking, so they prefer to take out food from the place. So they start having money. They start having like a really nice position, not worrying about that. So I remember that Kim, even before finishing her college, she thought like, what if I just, like start being absent of college? I took a year, I just traveled to over the seas, and I just start, like languages or something else just to compensate the year. But at the end, she realizes that it's too late for that. So she graduates. But I think, little by little, her family, it is like having a really nice position. I remember that even Kim's dad is like proud of that, because I remember one scene when he is like really, really drunk. He arrives to her house, I'm sorry, to his house, and they are saying like, oh, finally we are this, and he's so happy for having the business and money and everything, that says like everything is just because of me. And I remember Kim's mother says like, no way, because of both of us, but most me than you. So it is so funny because it is true. I remember Kim's father, he wanted to invest money in this Chinese business. And I think at the end it didn't work. So as I was telling you, Kim's mother, she was really, really smart. And that's it, I think. Probably during the vocabulary, we can see like some other details, but so far that is what we saw in the chapter. Well, let's just start with vocabulary, guys. So just 1 second, let me just start sharing my screen. And there you go. So I'm sharing my screen. Let's just open, oh, my bad. Let's just start with this, oh, porridge. Oh, you are not looking this word. But just 1 second. Let me just start sharing my screen. Oh my God. I just, 1 second. There you go. So I'm sharing my screen now, and we can see that, this is the vocabulary that we have today. So the chapter is called Early Adulthood. So when she is not an adult, but, she's not a teenager anymore. And she starts saying that receiving a scholarship, it turned out to be a pipe dream. So pipe, it could be like different things. It could be the pipe, the one you use for smoking, or as well, remember the pipes of for the sewer. So here pipe, it is just like un tubo, una pipa, and maybe because it seems to be very, very far. So here with vocabulary, it's saying, oh, the GPA and everything, all these weird words that we have later on, it is just the name of the exams and everything. And well, it says the buckling down. Buckling means, this is an expression, it is together. So there you go, it is together. And it says, and she could bomb 1,000 and still put her grade point average up by buckling down. Buckling down, it is like taking a task with determination. So like she really need to study or something. She will focus on that. And yes, as we see, it is like a lot of stuff here. They are not just they think it is not enough just with study. They have like some other extra activities, and well, it is just telling us about that, that if she takes some other activities, she will increase her GPA, that I think is like the general grades for going, or for like having a job, an excellent job, because I remember that everybody is looking for the big companies, not the small ones. And well, here we don't have anything. And then I teach at the college, say cram school in the afternoon. So remember that cram school, already we saw this in the last chapter. Cram by itself, it seems like rellenar, embutir. So talking about school, it will be a school of extracurricular activities. Then, here it is telling us about this friend who has like a lot of stuff to do. And she said even a little bit that this friend, it is traveling to Seoul, I think daily, and she needs to work. She has like two part-time jobs, like a waitress here, and then she said like sometimes like a teacher, and then like she needs to prepare everything, and she is so worried about preparing and everything that she's not doing great at school. So at the end, they say something here, and I remember this. They were right about dropping weight in college because of stress. She said that she lost 12 kilos. And well, you can see that is very, very stressful. So continue with vocabulary. We don't have anything here. We don't have anything here until zilch. Well, zilch, I was looking for this, and it seems that it's not, well, probably it is English, but probably comes from other language. And zilch, it means zero, nothing. So I remember here with this boyfriend that she has, She said that they are going to some matches. She went to the first match because of this boyfriend, and the boyfriend is explaining her all the rules before the game. And then she said, like, why you don't explain me during the game? And well, he says like, oh, but this is uncool, you know? It is like if you were explaining me a movie little by little, you know, every time something happened, you explain it to me. So that's why it says, anyway, it is uncool. And show off. If you don't know what is show off here, it is presumir. Okay, so it is telling Kim like, okay, if you do this, if you are trying to explain this game, you are just showing off. So it is uncool. And well, here we have the bleachers. That the bleachers, it is telling us about this place when they have in the athletic fields. So the bleachers are, you know, the place when you sit down, las gradas. We don't have anything here until words. So he says, oh yeah, here is the thing that I'm telling you about JiYoung's mother. That she received information that the new building across the street from their former fried chicken bar was to house pediatric hospital with words. So it was a pediatric hospital. And words, it means pabellón, las salas. So con un pabellón. So they are telling her husband that they need to open a franchise. And I remember, you know, her husband is not very convinced, but she said, like, let's do it. And this porridge, it is, I know it is food. I don't know how to describe it, guys. I don't know if you know what is a gacha, but I have read and I know a little bit of what is gacha, so I know it is kind of a soup that is made of rice, I think, with a little bit of vegetables that people eat when they are sick. So there you go. It is kind of a soup, maybe a stew. And well, very popular when people is sick. And well, there's nothing here either. And then we have the mother appeared yawning and cheated him. So remember that yawning, this word, it is when you're very sleepy and you are yawning. You're that is yawning. And this is the time when I told you that finally, you know, Kim's father just arrived to their house, and they say like, oh yes, you know, we have money, we're happy, we're this. So cheated in this case is like not grounding, but probably like, why you are doing this, why this, that. So reprender. And it says uncharacteristically drunk and boisterous. Boisterous, it will be that you are very, you know, like chatting a lot. Bullicioso. Continue talking about that. There's no vocabulary here. And then it says here, of course, how of this is your work? I help thee. So theme, it is just a word of saying like tú, te, you know, como te saludo, te something. And lady on my sock, that's it. And well, this mom is like, huh? That's not true, you know, I have been doing more than you. So 70 and 30. I think it is fair. Then, you know, another word that have is dampened. Probably we have seen this in the previous chapter, but if not, dampen, it is amortiguar. Amortiguar. So that didn't dampen his good mood, because remember that the mood is like, oh, no, but you haven't done more than me. So 70, 30. And that comment didn't affect his humor, his mood. And that's it, you know. It is just going to sleep. Then we have this coil of nerves. This is an expression. And it says, oh yes, because it is a boyfriend who finally entered the military service. And it says, always warm and relaxed before he entered the army. The boyfriend was now a tightly one coil of nerves that unreveil at the slightest provocation. So this boyfriend changed a lot. during these 2 years that he was doing his military service. Before, he seems to be very cool, and now he was a coil of nerves, un manojo de nervios. And revealed that, he changed, he like desvela, desenvuelve, like, he's smooth. He was probably getting upset easily. That's how this is trying to telling us. Well, they broke up, and then it says we hours, in the wee hours. Oh yes, because like here, with some people, they are drunk and like call their ex like, hey, are you sleeping? Well, this ex-boyfriend is doing the same. And these wee hours, it just like in these few hours, little hours. So we, in this case, it will be pequeño. There's no vocabulary here. There are some words that appears not very complicated, but some of them you will see. So Josh, in this case, who can Josh around together? Well, it just like, being together, like joke together, like get along together, and that's it. Nonchalant. Nonchalant, it is, well, it says, Song Yeon's reaction was nonchalant. You know what they say. Time moves mountains and rivers. Oh yeah, remember that Song Yeon's, it is Kim's best friend, the one at the beginning mentioned she dead, sorry. She passed away, she's dead because well, she passed away giving birth. So here it is telling us that there's a woman who wants to be the president of the club, this hiking club, but everybody's like, oh, come on, that won't happen. Never, never. And they realized that some later years, there was a woman who was the president of this club. So that's why it says, Seungyeon says, you know what they say, time moves mountains and rivers. So nonchalant, it will be indolente. What else? Well, we have burrowed. And this is the situation I was telling you that, she felt a little bit under the weather during this trip that they are doing. And she said that there was a group of people playing. She entered like in a cabin or in a room or something, and she saw like a pile of blankets. And I know that in Korea or in some Asian places, they have this heater that starts heating the floor. That's why it says the floor heating melted. And well, she is like in this, I don't know how to call it, girl. I just forgot the name. But anyways, she is down this big pile of blankets, or at least some of them. And burrow, it would be enterrado. She was, like inside that pile. And drift off, it will be dejado a la deriva. So in this case, she just like, she won. She was sleeping. She was on cloud 9. And there you go. And I think here is when she listened to that comment that I was telling you about, that she will be, like the second option. Oh, yes, it says. Well, here, first one, it says eavesdropping. Eavesdropping, it will be escuchar a escondidas. And then it says, ew, that's like chewing gum someone spat out. So, oh my God. I don't know why she didn't, like got out from her hiding place and she's like, what did you say about me? But anyways, she just, I was dropping. So she was listening and not saying anything. And remember that spat out, we saw it last time, and it is the past of spit, escupir. So it is just this, like, anyways, you understand. Then we have last. Last, It is, but avoided eating with them lest that they felt uncomfortable. So it is para que no se sintieran. So para que no, lest. Continue, we have drench. Drench in sweat and hardly able to breathe. So drench, it will be like really, really, really wet. Empapado. So remember that it is a little bit hot and then, she's feeling a little bit under the weather. So she starts sweating and too much. So she's drenched, empapada en sudor. And well, we have toss. The toss, it is arrojar. And oh yes, here is the comment that the guy says next morning. It says, your eyes are bloodshot, he said, as warmly and calmly as ever. Couldn't sleep? And then, this is a thought that Kim had at the time. No rest for gum, too busy being chewed and spat out. She she pictured herself saying, but she held her tongue. So she didn't say anything. And well, here, as you may see, you have the GPA, that it will be the general grades, and then the TOEIC, that it will be English. Remember that here it says that you must speak English, yes or yes. So the TOEIC, it is just an exam for English. Then we have akin, that akin, it is, oh yeah, she formed something akin to study group, so similar, seems, parecido. Oh yeah, because this group, it is everybody helps everybody to to look for a job, to check their CVs, the cover letters. I don't know, guys, if you know what is a cover letter, but a cover letter, it is that letter that you send to your company, to the company you want to be hired by, and this letter says the reasons why you want to be hired by them. That's your cover letter. And well, here there's no vocabulary here, not here either. And then we have belly ache. And belly ache, as you may guess, it is that your belly is in pain. Then imply seems to imply a preference for male students. So implicar. And as you may see here during all this chapter, we can see how unfair are companies, because they are just hiring males, because they think that women's are just troubles, because, the maternity, and then because like a lot of stuff too, including harassment probably. But anyways, here is the comment that she receives. It says, companies find smart women taxing. Like, now you are very taxing, and remember that taxing, it doesn't have to be with taxes. It is just because you are molesto, agotador. So imagine that. Then it's saying, and I think there's a comment here. It says, what do you want from us? The dumb girls are too dumb. The smart girls are too smart. And the average girls are too unexceptional. So what do they want? And well, everything, because she cannot find a job. There's something, I think she's already hired. Oh yeah, she was already hired to this company, because it says the answer became none of them had ever seen an employee go on maternity leave. So imagine that there were no women, so nobody has seen that situation happening before. And then it says her boss grumble. Grumble, it will be se quejó, he was complaining. This is why we don't hire women, because, it says women don't stay because you make it impossible for us to stay. Oh, that's, the thing that the lady is replying. Because yes, it is like a lot of troubles, like a lot of trouble. To be honest, that didn't happen to me, but I heard that happened to some women. They want, to apply for some nice positions. So what do you think about this? Yeah. And well, it is telling us about some numbers that, it says here. The percentage of female managers have also increased steadily, but slowly, from 10.22% in 2006 to 18.37% in 2014. But it is not even 2 out of 10. So imagine it is not even 2%, well, 20% of 100. And when it says here, they fly banners and toot horns. Oh, yes, I remember this because this lady, there was a lady, I think from the same college where Kim was studying, and she wanted to, I think she was a little bit older than Kim, and she presented her CVs, her candidatures to a lot of companies, and then she received the answer we're reviewing just 2 seconds ago. And then they say like, oh yes, but she was working really hard, I think for the laws college, and she got like a really nice position. And it said like, firstly, they are like, oh no no no, ridiculous. But then they are saying like, oh yes, we are so proud of our students. And toot horns, toot, it will be like peeping, they are tooting, they are tocando. And alumni, it will be a word that some colleges, universities use. It is a word that comes from Latin, that it means alumnus. And alumnus, it will be the singular. Alumni, it will be the plural. So you will know. And then it says clutch. Clutch, it will be obstruidos. And what else? Oh yeah, it says, oh, in this interview that I was telling you that she misspelled her name, it says the last question came from a middle-aged male trustee. So trustee, it will be like the manager, or someone who has a higher position in the company. And the question says, you are at a meeting with a client company. The client gets handsy, squeezing your shoulder and grazing your thigh. And handsy, as you may know, it has to be with your hands. So handsy means like mano larga. Squeezing your shoulder, like grabbing it, when they do this. And in grazing, it will be like, not touching, but like doing this, like rubbing your hand in your thigh. If you know what is your thighs are your muslos. And well, JiYoung was the first one who answered, and it says, I will find a natural way to leave the room. And then the second girl, I remember, she said like, oh no, this is clearly sexual harassment, I will say this. And it says, which made JiYoung flinch. Flinch, it will be flaquear, because she was like, oh, probably she was giving the right answer. And then the last one says, I would just check my attitude on my outfit. So it says the second interview have an audible baffled side. Baffled, it will be like, so I remember that is this suspiro. So baffled, it will be like, come on, like really? And I'm sorry. Yeah, hift, it will be levantar, hacer. Interviewee, it will be el entrevistado. Interviewer, it will be el entrevistador. Then we have JiYoung was Shangring. Shangring, I think it will be the pronunciation. Just 1 second. Let me just check it. I don't remember it. Shangri. So the pronunciation, it says
Jay grinned.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was too loud. Shangrin. And Shangrin, it will be apesadumbrado. You know, she was cabizbaja. Yes. Then we have regret. Oh, yes, you know, when she finally she called, well, she received an email that she didn't pass the interview, so she decided to call RH, this human resources, just to know a little bit more of this answer. And she said she regret and curiosity linger. So linger, it will be persistir. And they told her like, oh yeah, don't worry, that wasn't, you know, like a question. And that's it. You know, in this here, it says like, why I didn't say anything? I will say like, I will break his fucking arm. she was like really, really upset. And yes, of course, you know, and you're questioning sexual harassment. So yes, she just thought about that once she like finished the call, and she said like she was screaming against, oh well, she was screaming in the mirror. And then we have Luth, that it will be lascivo, and lecherously as well, lascivo. Well, Luth, it will be, it says, where JiYoung went to countless interviews after that, where interviewers made references to her physical appearance or lewd remarks about her outfit. You know, like, oh, you know, your neck is too pronounced, or your skirt is very short, or I can see your knees or your heels or whatever. And then stares lecherously. So lascivamente. They are probably looking at her boobs or her, I don't know, her ass, her legs in a really pervert way. And well, it says that she didn't get the job, any of the jobs. She is thinking like, you know, like taking a year off of college so she can kind of gain time, but it is too late. And here there's no vocabulary, but this is a poem that she remembers. Don't I know loneliness, poor as I am? As I return from saying goodbye to you, snow-covered alleys, flooded with moonlight, bold and blue. Because remember that she is a little bit sad, and then it is winter. And what else? Oh yeah, finally he got this new boyfriend. And as I told you, it says he offered no baseless optimism. You will be fine. Impetus, encouragement. Who cares if you don't get hired right out of college? Or the usual blaming. This is your CV. What have you been doing with your life? So this guy seems to be like really, really nice with her. And well, you know, we see that they have like a really nice relationship. I think a little bit later on, they spend like Christmas, or not Christmas, but they have a dinner together with Kim's parents. And well, as you may see, Kim's father is just interviewing this guy like, what are you studying? Where are your parents come from? What are your parents doing? How much money do you have? And it seems that is very normal in Korea. And well, it says her nerves were frayed. Frayed, it will be raídos. And that's it. Then, oh yeah, this is a comment that the father says, you know, because she is like a little bit sad of not getting a job. And it says, JiYoung's lack of response to his lecture prompted the father to say, to just stay out of trouble and get married. And then her mother says like, how can you say something so backward in these days and age? Like, you know, you young, don't pay attention to that, run wheel, you know, like do your life. And this is a situation when, you know, JiYoung remembers that probably was the first time her dad is with these hiccups. If you don't know what is a hiccup, this is hiccup. And they mentioned a situation that they are eating these jams. Jams, well, it's a steamed jams. So steam it is because it is made with steam. It is al vapor, and jams means los camotes. And well, you know, they are having bite after bite of this starchy flesh. And starchy, I think it means almidón. So, you know, they are telling us that they are eating this. And the kimchi, if you don't know what is kimchi, it is a mixture of some ingredients. I remember that is it is not lettuce, but maybe it is lettuce with a little bit of spicy and some other species, but it will be like the chilies from Korean people. And they mix it with almost everything. As well, I know that sometimes it is used for cleaning your mouth of flavors. When you are eating, I don't know if you know how Korean people eat, but they have like a lot of dishes in front of them. So they are grabbing a little bit of everything. They don't have dishes like us, that you have, you know, your beef steak with a side of potatoes and your salad. No, they have everything in little dishes, in the little bowls. So everybody is picking whatever they want. And one of those things, it is kimchi. I know that some of cases probably it is, I'm a little bit wrong, but in some cases they use kimchi for cleaning their mouths from some other flavors. For example, you are eating these really delicious meat, but then you want to drink a little bit of soup. So the thing that they do is that they clean their mouth so they can fully taste the soup, and for that they eat a little bit of this kimchi. And they have this twaddle. Twaddle means bobadas because it says, oh yeah, it says the witch spell. Oh yeah, because Kim JiYoung is telling us that it is the first time she saw her father to have hiccups. So maybe he has a spell on him. And it says that because he now is being a little bit of machista, that's why, you know, the spell is broken. So twaddle means boberias, means, you know, tonterías, bobadas. And then it says here, fair, self-approach, and helpfulness, brim. So brim, it will be rebosante, full of. Then continue talking with this. Oh yeah, here is the situation that happened with the boyfriend. But let's see. No vocabulary. Oh, no, it is not the thing that is happening. It is the day that they have. And I don't know if you know what is oppa. Oh, very common if you don't know it. If you like watching Korean soap operas, you may know, but if not, oppa, it is the way they call men, but when they are older than women. A man cannot call another man oppa. That's just for women. Oppa means like, I don't want to say like older brother, but it is like your superior. And as well, oppa, it is a way that the women call men when they are into them. I don't know if I explained, but oppa, it is a word for referring to boys, but as well, it is like honey, kind of, but it seems to be. And well, let's just continue with the other words. We don't have words here, nor here, not even here, not here. Then we have gleeful. Remember that series that is called Glee? Well, gleeful, jubiloso. And then cumbersome. Cumbersome means engorroso, complicado. Because here it is telling us that, you know, men, they are taking just the easy task, and women are left with the most difficult ones, because if they quit or if they left, nothing will happen, you know. So cumbersome, engorrosos. Then there's nothing here until wittingly. Wittingly, sin querer. It says employees had the right to go on leave or take time off to have and raise children, but she unwittingly set a bad precedent. Oh yeah, she's telling us about this leader that I was telling you that Kim met in this company that she joined. And she said that because she was the only woman, she returned to her job after giving birth, like a month later. And that was just, like putting an example, but it was a bad example, a bad precedent. And that's it. It is telling us here about those dinners and the things that this leader is changing. And what else? I think here is a situation that happens when they are drinking. And it says relentlessly. Yeah, relentlessly. And relentlessly means, I don't have this word. Just 1 second. Yes. Implacable, incesante. Because they are joking. Or maybe they are trying to laugh at Kim, saying that, she has a really nice nose and this and that. And then continue with this. It is telling us that probably we have already not listened to, like with these words, but probably I'm pretty sure in Mexico happens something like this. Because it says that Kim is just like having dinner with someone and she asks for a soybean, I think. Yes, a soybean post. And this guy says like, oh, eres la señora a la que le gustan estos, like este platillo. And she says that, the guy started laughing. And it says, Bimpe's woman was a popular Korea portmanteau word among a host of other misogynistic terms that ended with neo, woman. So it is just, like probably telling her like señora de los, no sé, de la soya or something like that in a very, very despective way. And well, it is laughing and everybody says that because you are working for that company, you are, or you feel a little bit obligated to smile. But it says that everybody was smiling awkwardly because they feel uncomfortable with that kind of jokes. But obviously they cannot say anything. And well, we continue with this and nothing happened here until we have Goffo? Oh, sorry. I forgot the pronunciation. So 1 second, let me just put it again. But it will be like really, really hard. So 1 second.
Guffaw.
Guffaw. So they guffaw. And guffaw, it will be just like laughing out loud. Carcajadas. That's it. And well, there's nothing here until her death. Her death, it will be, it says, she ate with her colleagues, but Mr. Han and their assistant divisional manager herded her towards the seat next to the division head. So they were like, come here, and everybody was like, yeah, come here, like following him like sheep. It says that herded, it is just pastorar, but in this case, it is just that everybody's following the same actions as the boss. If the boss is laughing, everybody laughs. If the boss says like, come here, everybody says like, yeah, come here. And there you go. This is the situation I was telling you about the restaurant. And then we have slew. That is slew. It is una multitud. So, it is telling us that this guy, firstly, it is like harassing her a little bit. And then it is telling her like a lot of advice that she wasn't asking for. Including compliments like you have a nice jawline. Jawline, remember, this is your jawline. And well, then we have totter. The totter will be tambalearse, remember, because she's a little bit drunk. And then finally they decided to go for this coffee that I was telling you. So it says, and that afraid wheel of hope inside JiYoung oh my God, crumple. So crumple, it will be arrugarse. It will be like, Oh yes, because this is a situation when the guy is like, okay, well, I would just say goodbye because my daughter, she just finished of her, she finished studying here, and she just called me. She wants me to pick her up because she's scared to go home. And then this JiYoung is like, really? Like, well, she is worried because you are doing this. In a few years, probably your daughter will be in my place if you don't change. So that's why it says here this. And well, here it is just, like this situation happens with the phone that says, hi, I work with JiYoung. Where is she? She's sleeping, so I pick up. Sleeping? What the hell? Who are you? She's kind of jealous. And then, he says that the guy just take JiYoung to her house, but they broke up. And well, here it is just desiccated onto the feelings left unsaid for so long, and they were desiccated. So desiccated will be como, they dry. They are not fresh anymore. They are not spending time, so se secaron. The shining romance go to ashes. So they. Are you there? Yes. So here we have another thing. It is just 1 second. Let me just send a message. And then we have bidding. That it is a thing that I was telling you, that they want to grow a little bit this company by changing a little bit the way they do businesses, and they want to start with these pitches, sales pitches. And it says the client's bidding. So in this case, bidding, it will be la licitación. And then it is telling us the situation when she is not accepted in this group, but the male. And then it says the oldest members openly joke that they hired the 2 men and 2 women at the same time with the same criteria, and yet the guys had steeper. So steeper, it is like they know more. They like go forward even a little bit more than they. And that's it. Then we have no, nothing here. Oh yeah, and then it says, in her mind, JiYoung flipped through the Rolodex. I don't know if you know what is a Rolodex. Or a Rolodex, it is one of those things that you have with the contacts or numbers, or sometimes it could be like electronic. But in this case, I think it is a paper one. And you have the names, the addresses, and telephone of your contacts. So she was, like looking at them. And then Shunk will be tragado. The 2 guys chug their beer, so they drinking really fast. And here is the situation when Kim's start, like realizing a lot of stuff. One of the things is that, they don't want this, and they just chose the men for the planning that I was telling you, just because they were men. It says here, the men were picked because the planning team was a long-term project. So they didn't want anybody to have, they didn't want anybody who could, get pregnant and then, like ask for maternity permit, or who would just quit because she got married or anything like that. So they decided to just have men there. And what else? As well as she is just realizing about this money that they are receiving less. I think here it says, she also learned that the guys were paid better from the very start, but that information steer. So steer, it will be movido, suscitado. Because she already knew, it says the day's quota of shock and disappointment. And of course, and here it says, According to 2014 data, women working in Korea earn only 63% of what men earn. So imagine 63% when it says that in other countries they are eating 84. So Korea, it is like giving like very, very low salaries, very, very low wages to women. And well, that's how our chapter finished. Finally, we just, there are two more chapters, and the last one is very short. So I really hope you have been enjoying the book. And well, guys, let's see, because, the last chapters are the last of this book. And I really hope to see you next chapter, next session. But if not, I really hope you continue having an excellent reading. And I hope to see you soon, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.